two sets of minutes. We'll start with the regular meeting, which was Tuesday, September 3rd.
I don't have any updates. If you don't have any, I'll move to accept.
I will second that.
Gene.
Yes.
PJ.
Yes. And we had a special meeting on the 10th to interview job applicants for the road department. I had no changes or corrections there. I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Gene.
Yes.
PJ.
Yes. Okay, no one called in to be on the agenda, so we'll move to some reports. And, well, tonight's report will come from Chief Phillips from the AVFD.
Thank you, PJ. Okay, report of calls. It's from January to August 31st of this year. EMS calls, we had 426. The year before that, same time, we had 344. Fire calls, we had 270. The year before was 279. Total was 696. The year before was 623. Mutual aids given were 164. The year before was 129. Mutual aids received 41. The year before was 46. Total transports 289. The year before was 235. Total non-transports 170. The year before was 141. Total transfers to other agencies 1. The year before was 0. Total patients is 460. The year before that was 376. Our percentage of multiple calls is at running at 22.84%. We had 63 back-to-back calls and 11 triple hitters for a total of 74. We had a structure fire on 9-5, 16380 Munn Road. About $65,000 to $70,000 worth of damage. We had 7 mutual aid departments arrived to help us with it. It went pretty good. We got it knocked down, but less smoke damage.
Your EMS calls are way up, huh?
Yes. Don't forget about the clam bake coming up next Saturday. This Saturday, I should say. Still have tickets to sell. The other thing I wanted to bring up is, a while back we discussed getting fuel tanks down at the road garage for the fire department and the road department to use. There's a copy of the proposal on your desk.
Oh, from Hauser. Okay.
We're looking at 2 500-gallon tanks, one for regular gas and the other one for diesel. We had a discussion with the road crew about it. They thought we should have a 1,000-gallon tank for diesel, and the vendor recommended not doing that because given our fuel quantities that we used last year and up to this year, he was worried that it would spoil. He was not going through enough of it to keep it moving. So we went back to two 500-gallon tanks.
The fuel has a shelf life?
Yes.
Yeah, still.
And you can treat it, but it's still.
Do we use enough gas to warrant the 500?
Well, we talked about a 300-gallon tank, and the cost difference between the 300 and the 500 virtually non-existent. So we decided to stick with the 500. We could go with the 300.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, you can always cut it shorter, but you can't cut it longer. I would just have the same concerns about spoilage or aging out on gasoline
So
too.
maybe we don't fill it up as much.
There you go, there you go. Cut it short.
Their pricing's good pricing, between the fire department and who we're with, and township and who they're with, of course, it's tax exempt. Their pricing that they gave currently from, the pricing index, 910 was, $2.22 a gallon for gas. Kitchen post is $2.99 currently. Got a little bit of a savings there. On-road diesel is $2.44.35. Hitchin post is $3.34 currently, a 91-cent difference. I think it's gonna pay off to go with them, be my recommendation. Road department's behind it also. They do have environmental fee of $17.89 for each invoice that they send out. And there's a cost for having 2 hoses, which is $150. I highlighted the cost aspects of it for you guys. We gotta get an electrician to do the hookup, which we wanna make sure it's on the generator circuit, so he quoted $1,340. I'm thinking we should make it 1,500 even, just to have a contingency in case we run into a little bit of an issue, have something to cover it. It's on the second page. These tanks, yeah, if you got questions, just interrupt me.
I will then. Melzers will supply tanks, and I talked about this over the phone with Mike today. Will supply tanks on a 5-year agreement, or the township can purchase it outright with no agreement for $84.13.
Yeah, the thing about that is, I'd rather go with the 5-year agreement because it puts the tanks underneath their responsibility. Something goes wrong with the pump, they have to fix it. Something goes wrong with the computer, they gotta fix it. I think we're further ahead than to buy them outright. And then-
What's the 5-year agreement? I was told like $150 a month.
No,
Gotta be more than that.
it's in there, it's in the,
Over 5 years would be
it's in,
$9,000.
it's in the fuel pricing.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I'm saying, it's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, why not?
And I attached a copy of that, it's in the packet.
It's like a free warranty, really.
The thing I like about it is it's got the computer program that all our guys would be set up with their own password, and the trucks would be identified. Nice thing about that is when they punch the truck number in there, they can't use gas in a diesel, and vice versa. It only turns on the pump that belongs to that truck. They give you a monthly report, who got what, so we can track everything. It's a pretty good system, actually. I think it's gonna pay for us. It's in range of our cameras at the fire station, so we'll see if there's something shady going on, it'll be on camera.
This is a dumb question, I know, but these are above ground tanks, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we
Okay.
need
Been that road.
we need a concrete pad,
And it doesn't have to be concrete, it could be 57 limestone.
but some ingots is what I heard.
Right,
Somebody from back
like
into it.
they built the salt
Yeah,
salt bin.
those concrete ingots.
Right. So the road guys gotta prep the gravel and get it ready and do the digging for the electrician and get the concrete barrier.
The only other thing that I would like to check into before this goes forward is insurance. Anybody checked on insurance? Did that change anything for us? Anybody know?
I didn't talk to the Tarma, but our insurance company doesn't have an issue with it. Really, it comes to the property, it's mounted to the property, so we should probably check with our Tarma.
Probably should check with Otarma.
I can give them a call if you want.
Yeah. I mean.
You got fuel there already, in a tank, so.
True. It's a change, I mean.
They've done
it's-
site
it's-
visits, nobody said anything about it.
Yeah, it's, well, I just thought of it today, actually, once I started talking about the figures.
But my biggest concern, as I said before, is these storms that we're getting. One of these days, we're gonna get one, knock on wood. Power's gonna be out for a while, and one of the things we can't do without with fire equipment and road department is fuel.
If the power goes out and this is hooked to an electric line, is that gonna work?
Generator.
That's how we're gonna hook it up to the generator.
I still don't see where the lease cost is for the tanks on a 5-year agreement. You say it's in the fuel price?
Yeah,
Usually,
you gotta buy fuel from them for 5 years.
Oh, that's it?
Yep.
But that fuel price is gonna fluctuate, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Right, that's why they got that 30 cent, if you look at the first page, the 30 cents,
Margin plus
margin,
30
right,
cents.
so,
Right.
look, I figure it might change.
I'm gonna
But
say,
they're gonna bill it as what the current price is going for.
I'm gonna say Melzer's very reputable.
I checked with a few companies I
Yeah,
work
they've been
with,
around.
very good, very well received. So I'd like to get permission from the board to move ahead and get this going.
I know we talked about it, I know Mike seemed to be in favor of it, but if PJ, you wanna wait till they talk to Otarma's fine, but
Yeah, I'm by and large in favor of it. I would like to see if it comes with an added insurance cost. But as you said, there's a tank there, there's fuel in the vehicles in the buildings, but I don't know if a separate fueling station is something.
so if we wait till the next meeting, does that give you guys enough time to
Yeah, we
get
can
this
get one.
going?
Yep.
Is that what you wanna do, PJ?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
I have no problem with
As I
that.
said, Melzer's they're very reputable. They're just a good bunch of guys, I know them too, so.
That fuel purchase and tank agreement should be just behind the diagram for the tank. Should be. My secretary could have messed up.
All right, well, thank you, chief. Yeah, of course, we got out of this business, 15, 20 years ago, but technology, I think, gets us back into it, so, yeah, it'll work.
Well, it saves our guys having to go back to Almonds too.
Sure, 100%, I
The
get it.
big thing is we get into storms and there's long power outages, that's my biggest concern and their concern also. As long as we got a good way to track it, that's,
Yeah, technology,
Yeah.
definitely.
that's it for my report.
Thank you, chief.
So, any questions, fire department related? Thank you, chief. Gene, you got a report?
Just a couple things. I talked to Nancy today. We got a bill in for $500 from Chip Hess and Associates. If you remember the last meeting we had with them up at the park, we looked at different areas to move that septic system to the far corner there in the line, and they wanted to just be on the safe side and check that soil again, so we have a bill for that. It was for $500. I don't see it tonight, so unless you
Was
just
that
got
the
it.
Neo Soils?
Yes, is that in there?
It's in there.
Yeah, there, okay.
Wait a minute, isn't it? Was it in there?
I thought I
Yeah, I thought it was in there.
Yes, it is, absolutely $500, okay, so that's what that was for. And the other thing I mentioned earlier, but I'd like to see it in the minutes, that our Girl Scouts are getting ready for their pollinator garden at the park. They met with one of our road department people to see exactly where they wanted to put it. She had emailed me about seeing where she could get plants and the people to talk to, and like I said, I'm involved with the Federated Foundation of Jog Parks, and they have a pollinator group there, and I got her in touch with those people, and hopefully we'll see some action here very shortly from the Girl Scouts and their pollinator park. And that's all I have.
Okay, everything I have is on the agenda later on, so I'll just pass it on over to you.
Okay, since our last trustee meeting, you have the payment listing. We processed 14 electronic payments for $59,318.80 and processed 23 warrants, $12,163.16 for a total $71,481.96. The only other thing I got is, you want me to go ahead with the resolution?
Sure.
Resolution 2024-23. If you recall, I think we mentioned at a previous meeting, when Gene and I went up to the Budget Commission, there was some discussion. We had roughly $24,019.27 left in the American Rescue Plan Act funds that hadn't been committed to or spent, and they felt that we wouldn't have enough time to, if we were going to have it allocated toward a project, to get bids and have it all done by the end of the year. So they suggested we pay some salaries with that, the remaining funds. So that's what this resolution is. Be resolved by the Township Trustees of Auburn Township, whereas on this date, September 16th, whereas the township has received a distribution of monies, the ARPA funds from the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, ARPA, whereas Congress passed the act effective March 11, 2021, and there's a bunch of other whereases and whereases, but get to the meat of it. This money, whereas, can be used for road building and maintenance and other infrastructure, which allows us to, whereas the board has identified a use which, in the judgment of the board, qualifies as a permitted use of the ARPA funds in direct support of governmental services, which consists of the following: the payment of wages to the Township Road Department employees for the purpose of miscellaneous repair and maintenance of Auburn Township roads. Therefore, it is hereby resolved by the board that the township elected to use the standard allowance by way of Resolution 2022-13 and its presumption of revenue loss due to the public health emergency, and to use the amount authorized herein to fund government services. The use is hereby authorized and shall be paid for from the ARPA funds in the amount of not to exceed $24,019.27, which is the remaining balance. The use described herein serves the objectives of the Act by providing services traditionally provided by a government, namely road repair, maintenance, and other transportation and safety services. The use is in the best interest of the township and deemed a priority. No obligations paid under the authority of this resolution were incurred prior to March 3rd of 2021. So we need a motion.
Motion to adopt that resolution.
Okay.
I'll second.
Second. Gene?
Yes.
PJ?
Yes.
Okay. Motion passes. And that's all I have.
Okay. We'll go into the rest of the agenda here. Had a pretty good discussion today about our 25, the engineer sent out a letter looking for townships to submit their 2025 road projects. We've been for months, if not years, been talking about the big one we're gonna be stuck with, which is Moreland and Cooper Court, which is a road in that subdivision. That's something we've been saving up for a couple of years for, right, Dan? We've been putting some money away for that. We feel pretty good that we're gonna get to that one. So that's number one on the list for 25. Another road, about the same vintage, actually kind of the same conditions. It was installed 20, I think it's 20-some years ago, 21 years ago now. Never was much building until recently, is Regal Place down at the corner, down on Valley Road, right near the township line with Dewberry. It's great, it's doing the same thing Moreland is. It's just a shorter, less imposing road, but that's gonna be our second goal for next year. And then I don't think we'll get to it unless we can piecemeal it, but we're talking about Stafford Road East going into Troy from 44. It's broken up pretty good between, and sinking a bit, between Valley and Snow. It was due for chip seal a couple years ago, maybe 3 years ago now, that we pulled those projects that year, I think, there was some crazy price increases on the asphalt that we got caught with. So we pulled that chip seal project that year. It's gonna need attention. I guess it's getting to be probably our last east-west road that we haven't invested in really. So we're gonna put that on the list. The engineer's they know our financial condition here right now. Some of them depend on the levy this fall, but, do we look at a leveling course, which we've had some luck with before there? Troy did on their broken up asphalt end of Stafford Road, they put a layer of chip seal down. I don't know what their goal is, if they're gonna come back in a year or two and put a top coat on it, which is something we used to do here with some success. But it's gonna make the list of things we're looking at. And then 26, of course, will be, the big project will be joint with Manaway with issue 2 application. We should probably, with Crackle Road.
Middle of next year, whatever, invite them over, go over there and discuss that.
Yeah, we've had conversation. We already, Jog is gonna be the lead engineer.
Right.
So some preliminary stuff's in place already. Some culvert work needs to be done. I'm sure we'll do that in-house as part of our, in kind. But yeah, there's a plan, concept of a plan, I think, is what they're talking about it now. So
what's needed to meet this October 1st deadline?
that we're just gonna submit, there's a project list. It's not, I don't think there's a form that the engineer sent us,
No.
where we just delineate.
Who does you do that?
Yeah, that's right.
They'll just send that in from our
Yeah.
plan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, these are all things, besides Regal, which just kind of makes sense when you look at it. It's also in that corner of town too. This is things we've been talking about for years now here, so.
Okay. Sounds good.
The other thing that made the agenda but really didn't need to was the county sent out their agreement to townships for salt purchases. This is primarily for townships that don't have adequate storage. And there's, they pick up their salt from the county. And we don't, we contract directly with ODOT. So that's kind of null and void, we don't need to take any action on that. And the ODOT contract's already in place for $44.27 a ton, which is pretty reasonable. There was years in the past we were approaching 100. And that's the bottom of the agenda, so any public comment from anybody about anything? Nothing at all?
When's that BZA hearing?
Yeah, we interviewed applicants here for the road department, and we have a small crowd looking for that BZA meeting then.
Oh, was it the other one?
Yeah. It's gonna be at Adam Hall, I know that. Is it the first?
Yes, it's the first.
It's the 1st of October.
It's not on here.
Why is it on?
I don't know.
7? You don't know?
No, it's the first, last I know.
I thought that's what I thought I had heard too.
October 1st?
That's
Yeah.
what I was told, yeah.
I want to be at that one.
New new attorneys for the applicants, and that's why it's been postponed a couple of times. And that was on the advice of our assistant prosecutor, that yes, we can go ahead.
And what time is that going to be on October?
That I don't know. Anybody know?
1900,
Hmm?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock?
At 7 o'clock.
Hmm?
How did it go with the interviews?
I thought we didn't have a lot of applicants, like in the past, we would, when I say in the past, it's 15 years now since we did a big hire here. We would get 30, 40 applications. We got 6 for, you know, one's for superintendent, we had 3 there, we had 6 for the nuclear, the position we need to fill. But I thought they were high-quality guys.
I thought they were extremely quality people, so.
Yeah, some of them are, a couple of them are, you could plug them right in. You know, they have all the CDL certifications, and they've been doing the job in various locations around here, and, yeah, I think we'll be all right. I do.
If no one else will snatch it.
Well.
Did you ever go to Cedar Point? That's Cedar Point, Disney World.
And big thanks for the picnic.
What was that?
The picnic goddess is, that's the picnic goddess over there.
Oh, jeez.
She's got some new stuff going on. It'll turn out fine. I hope the weather cooperates, but September's the only reason I think it won't. Anybody else?
Anybody?
Thank you for coming. I'll look for the ultimate motion.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second.
Gene,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.